Hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome you back to an episode of AB HINC, Volume 14. I know it's been like a year or two since I've done one of these. I was doing them hard during the pandemic, and it was a lot of fun. But the pandemic hit, and I just had to really kind of refocus, a lot of my energy. And to me personally, it was a lot of work. Doing this on a weekly basis. But now I'm back. Podcasting isn't going away. It's kind of fun doing it too. So, welcome back to AB HINC Volume 14. It's good to be back. Got the cue card written up here. And let's start it off. Okay, we have a couple orders of business to start off with on this episode. A couple of apologies. First apology goes out to Aaron Bliss. And the second apology goes out to Burn the Disco. The reason why I'm apologizing to those two is because they actually did interviews with me, and they were very long interviews, at least an hour long each, and they're just kind of sitting on one of my old computers right now collecting dust, virtual dust, and I've listened to them, and you guys gave great interviews. I'll have you back on. Let me get this ball rolling again. Let me get the production up to par. Now we're gonna have a video element. It's no longer just gonna be audio. So I'm gonna get microphones. Eventually, probably a studio, all of that jazz. But for right now, we got the cue card. We got we got my car, and this is gonna be it. You guys gave great interviews. Listening back to them, some of the stuff, my viewpoints were a little dated. So that's more on my end. I feel like I've grown a lot since those interviews. And maybe one day we'll put them out, put out some clips, at least something. But apologies to Aaron Bliss and Burn the Disco. I will make that up to you guys. And so AB HINC relaunch, visual audio. Eventually, I'm gonna put everything up on SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes. Just to keep up with the times and how things have progressed, you gotta kind of put everything on all platforms now. But this time around, I'm gonna talk about current issues that affect Mexico and my communities as a whole. And I say communities because I'm involved in a few of them. And being wanderlust, it's what happens when you tend to go about meet a lot of people. So those communities, I'm going to focus on Laguna, Acoma, Music, and New Mexico. And so we're going to be focusing mainly on those and how they affect us here in the Land of Enchantment, and, see where it goes from there. Maybe somebody else out of state or out of the country will start listening to these two and, find some interesting viewpoints that we talk about here. There will be some political talk on here. I have a political science background. And it'll be coming from the perspective of a Native American whose livelihood depends on the prosperity of others. I make my money by DJing and painting for a living. And how are those tied into the prosperities of others? Well, especially in DJing, you have to have a reason to celebrate. You have to have a reason to go out. You have to have a reason to, if you're not, you're just an addiction. But if you're, as a DJ, I like to add to that sense of accomplishment, that sense of party, that feeling of just getting out and having a good time with people you love, or trying to find someone you love. And that whole industry depends on money provided by others, from people from other industries, who just want to break from their lives. So I've always viewed it as, if the club scene is suffering, the country is suffering. People only party in times of prosperity, and so I've definitely seen, numbers shrink. Prior to the pandemic, There was times when El Rey, you couldn't fit another person in there. The top, bottom, and the sidebars were all packed. Same with Effects. I mean, Sunshine, Sister. There was time before the pandemic, you couldn't. You were lucky if you got in, and now it's, what show sells out. I mean, I haven't seen any sellout numbers since like they were prior to the pandemic. I mean, sellout shows happen, of course, but it's not the numbers that you saw prior to the pandemic, and it's kind of crazy. And painting as well. People are improving their homes. They're putting in money that they have saved up from investments, from working throughout the year, and they're putting it back into their home to improve their lives. And people only want to improve their lives when, they have a little bit of padding to fall back on. No one's trying to upgrade their lives when, you don't have a car, you don't have a job, you don't have, you're not going to pay for those extra things in life. And, that's why I think AB HINC and the direction that it's going to go from now on. I'm not just a raver anymore. I have a real career. I got real life. I got real bills now, and that's something I didn't have. I had a little bit of it, but I was grown up a lot since then, and so I'm glad to be back. And yeah, and I hope everyone joins. Who takes the time and listens to any of these. Hope I'm not wasting your time. If I am, let me know. If you have any input in any of the topics that I talk about on here, let me know. I'm pretty approachable. Just shoot me a message, all right? And the first order of business on today's show, official order of business, is the Brittney Griner Swap. Everyone's talking about that, right? I know a lot of the Albuquerque community, they real heavy advocates for Brittney Griner, her being released. I understand that she is a part of the LGBTQIA plus community, but government and raving and rights and all that, totally separate subjects. You gotta look at who we traded Brittney Griner for. We traded a WNBA player for an arms dealer who was conspiring to kill Americans. I'm I'm gonna insert a clip that I found from a comedian right here.
I don't know if you know who they want. They want the Russian Tony Stark. It's a nigga who just built bombs from scratch. That's what he do. He can build a bomb out of a backwood. He's sitting in jail with a hoodie over his head, chained up, and he don't talk. That's what they want to free for Britain. That's what Biden like, give me a minute, shit.
All right, hope you saw that, and it's hilarious, right? Now, I just showed y'all that to just kind of, don't get swept up in media so much. Don't get persuaded to do what appears to be the right thing, because there's a U.S. Marine over there who's done legitimate service for our country in ways that Brittney Griner, all respect to being an athlete, being a former athlete myself, there's a lot of sacrifice that you go through in entertaining people, entertaining people, but most recently, my experience as a DJ, you follow the venue's rules. You don't go in there making the place your home unless they roll out the red carpet for you, and you don't go in there just raising ruckus. You have to respect the rules of the venue. just like you have to respect the rules of a country. Yeah, we're all about marijuana, DMT, and mushrooms here in America, but other countries worldwide, they're not. A lot of the country is very conservative, and a lot of the things that we push and Americans don't align when you go across seas or go across, it's just not the way the world works and operates. Here in America, we operate on a false sense of, oh, this is how everything should be and this is how the world works. And as really, half of this country doesn't have a culture. It's American culture. It's pop culture. It's why immigrants are so vital to this country, because if you have that constant flow of immigrants in, you have that constant flow of culture. And that's what makes America, it's just so great. You gotta have that culture, gotta have that melting pot of people and places and experiences just to make America what it is. And all the Biden, fight for democracy. And, it's his administration that pushed for this useless trade, in my opinion. But it's not the right way. You're not showing you value your own people. You value a cause over doing what is right. And when you start losing sight of that, I pray for you, man. I pray for our leaders, pray for them, and they start seeing, common sense, what's broken right in front of you. You can't just constantly try and kiss ass to the people who give you power. If you do that, then you have no real power of your own, and you gotta, I don't know, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but this is a really confusing trade on our behalf. We lose. It was lose-lose. We didn't gain anything. We gained an entertainer back. When was the last time she played? When was the last time she had a standout game? Let's be real about some shit. There's some good athletes out there. When last time I seen her do anything really impressive was in Baylor. So I don't know. You got an arms dealer, you got a WNBA player. But not to bring in the political aspect of it. The U.S., it being in the position that it is with Russia and Ukraine and the pickle that we've gotten ourselves into, and with all that and mishandling all that, I genuinely believe that this was a PR, public relations move by the Biden administration to Russia to somehow gain some faith in some type of negotiations to calm this situation. At least that's my hope. That's what I'm praying is going on behind the scenes. And recently, New Mexico being a cannabis legal state, there was a federal ban on all cannabis sales nationwide. Colorado, California, New Mexico, all the other states that are all cool and cannabis friendly. You can't go with your debit card anymore in your bank account and go buy some cannabis anymore. And that was really convenient. Really, really convenient. You didn't feel like you were doing anything dirty anymore. You felt like you were being an upstanding citizen, paying taxes on something. It didn't feel dirty anymore. And not to mention in the emails where he refers to, well, the big guy needs his 10% in the deals from Russia. It's, I don't know. Getting back to New Mexico though, this isn't good for cannabis shop owners and people in the cannabis industry. It puts a little bit of a black mark on what you're doing again, and it shouldn't be that way. It's illegal. It's just time for the federal government to catch back up. It was getting their money out of it. They're making it harder and more dangerous for business owners to do business, because you're going to have all these business owners with nothing but cash on them at the end of the day. And for a world these days, that is gold, especially in an economy like Albuquerque, Tim Keller. all the Harbor City experiment that you're running here and all the crime and cartel violence that's going on, you know, you're breeding this, and you're breeding an environment for a spike in crime. Now these business owners are going to have to hire security. They're going to have to go through all of these hoops that California went through, you know, years ago. And we thought that we were done with this. And if you voted for Biden in this administration, it's how can you feel comfortable? Everything that he's saying is backtracking. It's back to the same old fucking puppet show. Well, I hate to say it, but you know, this guy, how much of his cognitive ability is really there? It's not judgment. It's not gaslighting. It's look at the facts. Look at what's in front of you. And I think if we get more of that in government, period, doesn't matter, Biden, Republican, Democrat. We just need some more. We just need some more. We need some real people to do something, do the right thing. Just keep doing the right thing. And it's all love, man. If you work out of love, you work in love, you're never gonna be pointed in the wrong direction. So yeah, that's where that goes for us. My spiel on what's going on in government, New Mexico, and now to kind of bring it back to myself. I got some musical aspirations this coming year, 2023. I think this year I'm gonna put out an album. One of the things I wrote down was stop being lazy when it comes to music. And you know, as much as I hate to admit it, past couple months have showed me that I'm really not doing shit in music. I don't even remember last time I made an actual original song. Never put out an EP, put out a few tracks here and there. Thrown a lot of shows, grinding my ass off as far as hosting shows and getting to where I am and the opportunities I've been given. But to be honest, I ain't been working. I've been slacking. I've been half-assing something that I'm really good at, and it's time for me to swallow that pill and stop taking the red pill, maybe take the blue pill and get back to the Matrix and make something for you guys. Along with being showed that I've been incredibly lazy, I've been showed that I've been incredibly gifted with life and things that I've done. People I've met, people I've called friends, family I've got. I've lived a pretty interesting life until this point, and till I started putting some of that on paper, making some paper, something just happened. Like one day I was just sitting here going about my life, being angry, being this and that, and then it was feeling like an egg cracks, just open, and all this yolk just starts spilling out of my brain, and it just, not literally, but it just it was like one day I woke up and it was just, I saw the world a little differently. I see the world for what it is, and it's just people being people, people trying to get it, people trying to be happy. And if I can add to that before I leave this earth, I'll be happy. For some reason, it brings up that question that you were asked back in elementary. If you could do anything for the rest of your life, what would you do? And in elementary, you're programmed to give an answer, to Well, I want to be this. I want to be this. I want to be a fireman, astronaut, doctor. No, blah 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 blah. And I got really good at giving those answers. Got really good at giving those answers. At college, scholarships, you find a way to talk and you tell people what you think at the time is your plan for life, and you ain't lived life at all. You don't know what life has in store for you. But you tell them, this is what I think I'm doing. This is what I think I'm going to go. This is where I want to be. And they give you a bunch of stuff. And for me, it backtracked to, I want to be in business. I want to buy and sell stuff. And I've always been good at that. And then, to be frankly honest, it's boring. And seeing the life I would have to live to get to those like multinational dollar companies and things I would have to do are a little disheartening. And I killed my drive for that, but I'm still really good at it. And at the end of the day, if I could go back and tell that little kid to talk to his teachers again, I'd say nothing. Tell him what you really want to do. Not a damn thing. I don't know, I've always felt this pressure to achieve, to accomplish, and this and that, and it suited me really well in life. But, that question led me to lie a lot. And, I think I had a conversation with my grandma, and she said, that feeling, it's maturity, and you're ready for whatever is going to happen for you. It took a lot of years and a lot of experiences that I didn't know I didn't want, just to get to this place where I'm at now, where I just want to paint, just want to make some music. If I could paint houses and play music the rest of my life, I'd be happy in this life. And if I could make some people's lives better while doing it, I think I could say I had a life that was lived invaluably. Man, I think I've ran out of stuff to say after that. So let's go back to the cue cards. Yeah, I don't know. I'm liking this. I'm really liking this, what we're doing here. So, shout outs. UFC Raul Rosas Jr. out of Clovis, New Mexico. Man, I know it's a big deal for New Mexico, especially for Clovis and Portales, but man, there is a story behind this kid. This kid, man, there's a story behind his story. And a big one, shout out Eric Swan, Force of One Gym down in Clovis. And for those of you who don't know, this is the guy that he's starting a slaughterhouse down there in Clovis in eastern New Mexico. This guy he's been building these fighters from the ground up. It started off with Harvey Park. And, in my opinion, Harvey Park should have been there. If he got to the UFC and his life unfolded the way he planned on it happening, that guy, he had the looks, he had talent, he had everything. He would have been like a next huge champion. The skill was there. I've seen this guy knock people out, and it was scary. Like, you see fighters, it's like, I was playing at Eastern New Mexico, and I saw a player from West Texas who went to the NFL. You see people who are just exceptional at what they do. And yeah. Anyway, Harvey Park, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, just those life lessons. You can have these plans, you have these intentions, you have these things that you prep for night and day, and you think it's your dream. Life can just sometimes pull it out, and for whatever reason, it didn't. He had his shot, he got it, and hopefully he's still fighting, he's still doing things, but it just, who knows what his story inspired in the day. And you can't tell me that Harvey Park didn't inspire this guy. Fucking 17, 18 years old. I was DJing an event back in Clovis for Force of One Fighting, MMA, and that kid probably helped setting up the ring. You know what I mean? And probably past that kid not even knowing him, or he saw something. And man, that gym down there, it deserves all the prosperity and everything that has coming its way, man. Eric Swan, just fucking get out there to keep fucking killing it, dude. You're gonna make that gym, you're gonna make Clovis a staple in MMA. And I can already feel it. You put in the foundation there. All of the infrastructure's there to have one of the top gyms in the nation. And it's gonna happen. You keep breeding fighters like this, showing, what kind of heart comes out of Eastern New Mexico. It's gonna be a good time for everybody. So, big shout out to Force of One, Eric Swan, Raul Rosas Jr, Harvey Park, that whole gym down there, man. You guys just keep knocking motherfuckers out. Just keep knocking them out. Ah. Yeah, and with that, I think that is going to be the end of this volume 14 of AB HINC. From here, and that's where it's going, baby. From here, this one was a little rough. I'm going to do some editing, but I'm going to make it the best it can possibly be for y'all. And one quick announcement, 3/23/23, March 23rd, 2023, Grand Old Party, Cranston, Mexico. Already got a bit of a lineup going. Shooting for 10 DJs, 10 acts. Come out there. So if you're interested in seeing some amazing music, some amazing people, and some amazing sights in the El Malpais National Forest in Cranston, Mexico, hit me up. Peace.
All eyes on me. You know what?